work and athletic development is that they have a higher risk of knee injuries, especially when we start to kind of work on like sprinting, jumping, landing, that kind of stuff. Of your knee is going to want to cave in. It's more based on hip positioning from women to guys, right? So I would say do a lot of like mini band work, do a lot of glute activation work, because your glute's going to control where your knee goes, and your knee is really going to just flex and extend, meaning that your leg's just going to go straight out and it's going to bend in. It's going to go straight out. It's going to bend in. It's not really going to go side to side. And so that glute really helps control that knee going side to side. So I would say the biggest thing that you would want to focus on is more glute strength, just so that you can protect your knees. And that kind of lets you, go into all that high performance training as far as jumping, running, sprinting, those kind of things.
Nice. And then one more question.
Sure.
So I'm actually about to go off to college in a couple months. I'll be playing golf at Howard University. So,
nice.
Thank you. So I've been exercising, but I just want to ask, what are some other key things I need to focus on kind of before I get to DC? Because I know we'll be exercising early in the mornings. That's why I want to prepare myself now. That way when I get there, I'll already be prepared.
Yeah. So ask you're trying to focus on, what's the one thing you should focus on more before you get there?
Yes. What key exercises so far as, like you mentioned glutes, but so far as like upper body, core, some key things?
Yeah, I would say, that's a great question. So, I would try to make it more specific towards you. So just kind of like asking questions like, how far are you hitting the ball right now?
Carry distance 250, and then after rollout between 270 and 280.
Okay, yeah, so that's a good distance. Yeah, that's a really good distance. So I would say probably as you start to get into college, I would say, that's a great question. I would try to make it still a little bit more specific towards you. So I would try to find somebody who's like TPI certified kind of in your area, just so that they can kind of break down and kind of look at you from an individual standpoint and see if there's anything that you need specifically based on the way that you move and then your swing. But I would say if the one thing I would tell you is probably, it's a great question. I actually know the coach from Howard. I met him maybe like a year ago. He used to be at Queen's University. He's a really good guy. I would say get your conditioning up, just because there's going to be a lot of golf tournaments. So I would say if you're going to do anything, I would say, just make sure that you're well conditioned and ready for it, because you just don't want that to be your limiting factor as far as playing at a bunch of tournaments, getting up early in the morning, and just kind of making sure that you can perform at a high level. If you get conditioning up outside of, kind of looking at your body, specifically.
Hey, Jonathan, you just hit on a key point, because one of the things that I just found out about college players is they have to play 36 holes in one day sometimes.
Wow.
Yes. So that's what you're telling her is really key, because if you're not conditioned to play 36 holes in one day, it may not be good. Your body may not hold up for that second round of golf.
Yeah, 36 holes is a ton.
Yes.
And Ro, can I piggyback off of what you and Kendall both just said?
Yeah,
and Jonathan, question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, talk about sort of the conditioning aspect and the endurance aspect. What are you doing? What would you have your athletes do in the gym to prepare them for those 36 holes, or even 18 on a 100-degree day on a hilly course? Where it can sort of what else? What are you doing in the weight room to help condition kids to be able to keep that speed up on 18 or on the 35th hole as much as they did the first hole?
Yeah. I would say that if your body's performing optimally, right, then you're probably going to expend less energy, right? So it's one of those things where if I'm not strong, if I'm not fast, and I'm having to really get after and have these hero shots, just constantly trying to, hit the ball as far as I can, you're just going to be burning a ton of energy throughout that process. So I would say you would try to work out at a high intensity rate, so I would say anywhere from like 75% intensity level based on like 1 rep maxes. We would definitely introduce like super speed sticks.